today we are going to be talking about fractions. So if you would title your notes at the top of the page as fractions, and don't forget the date. Our objective today is I will be able to find equivalent fractions and simplify fractions. So write with me, objective. I will be able to find equivalent fractions and simplify fractions. And I'm going to add to their simplest form. So our first term is equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. Oh man. Equivalent. There we go. Equivalent fractions. And the definition of equivalent fractions are fractions that have the same value. Alright, so our example of equivalent fractions is right here. So I would like you to draw and write the fraction for this example. So 1/2 is also the same thing as 2/4 because you can see it on these circles and on these circle graphs that the same amount of the pie is shaded in, there's just more pieces to it. So if you have 1/2 of the pizza or of the pie, and if you had 2 of 4 pieces of the pie, it would be the same thing. And it also, 2/4 and 1/2 is also equal to 4/8. Our next portion of our notes is going to be about simplifying fractions. And to simplify fractions, all you need to do is divide the numerator and denominator by the largest number possible. So you're trying to get it to simplest form. So for example, if you had 6/12, 6/12, and you divide both 6, here let's write it like this so it's a little bit, oh no, 6/12, and let's put a bar underneath it. 6/12, okay, let's say we had 6/12, and then if you divide the top and the bottom, if you divide the top and the bottom by 6, because both 6 can go into 6 and 12 equally, so 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1, and 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2. So 6/12 simplified it all the way down to simplest form is 1/2. So there's our first example. The next example that we're going to do is 8/10. And once again, we will have this bar here. And now you guys are going to draw it so much better than this, just because it's hard to do on Word, as you may or may not know. So, for 8/10, if you divide both, what can you divide both 8 and 10 by to get it to the simplest terms? So think about that. Well, we know that 8 and 10 are both even numbers, so they can both divide by 2. As we think there's nothing else that it can divide by, so we know we can divide both 8 and 10 by 2. We have to do the same thing to the numerator as we do to the denominator. So 8 divided by 2 equals 4, and 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So 8/10 simplified to lowest terms or simplest form is 4/5. So that's all we're going to do on this lecture. So I hope that this makes sense, and we will be doing more with this, don't worry, in class. So I'll see you later.